share some files. That if you can drop that the link to the folder at the bottom.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome. Thanks for being here. So you won't be able to turn on your camera and microphone because of the setup of the session, and but you can talk to us from the Q&A icon on the bottom right next to the chat icon. There is these dots uh, which are making a square. If you click on it, then there is a Q&A. I'm going to share my screen in a minute. All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being here and welcome. I am Saeed, the founder and CEO at I Care Better. And I have Zara with me. She is our marketing manager, the most senior marketing person in our team. She's the best, a lot of experience, a lot of academic and hands-on experience. So I hope we can help you today to think about your goals, about your business. Probably you all had a long day of practice, interacting with patients, administrative work, paperwork, running a practice is not easy. So sometimes you get so much focus on patients and in the practice that you need a break, maybe 1 hour to get out and work on the practice as a business unit, because ultimately this is a business, you need to focus on it. The goal of this session is very simple. First is to get you out of that administrative and provider space, to get you to think about your practice, where you want it to be and where you want to be and why you want to be there. Then based on that, we will develop a plan and we show you how to develop a plan to achieve that goal. So basically you go out from here having top 3 focuses to go work on as the lowest hanging fruit and the biggest opportunities for you and your practice to grow. And then with a lot of tools and learning materials to take home with yourself. So I hope this session will be helpful, and I am confident you are going to enjoy this session because it's going to be all hands-on interactive. You're going to work on your own practice numbers and practice materials. So I just want to start by introducing our team. I'm Saeed. You probably know me. Zara is here. She's the most senior marketing person. She is our marketing manager. We have Dan. Dan is our web developer. He makes sure that the website is built nicely, has a good backend for SEO, and has a good front end for conversion of patients into visitors into patients. And we have Ned, who is our content strategist, and she knows how to draft the content in a way that captures attention and also talks to algorithms. So we have this team in place to basically help our partners to grow their practices. And without further ado, I want to start sharing my screen right here, just to make sure we cover all the bases. First of all, I want to make sure that you can basically use this icon on the bottom right, and there's this Q&A. We can communicate with each other here. So I think this is the best way to do it. That's the only way that we can do it with Google, but I think it's good enough. So I'm gonna start sharing my screen here. So this workshop, we are in June, a few more weeks, then July starts. By July, we have 6 more months for the year 2025. So it's good to sit and reassess where we are, what we wanted to achieve, what we want to achieve, and how far we come, where are the areas for growth and more focus. And I think that's going to be really helpful. You get out of your practice, as I said, you think and focus on your business, learn about the industry trend, focus on 2 or 3 areas after this meeting, then go and do it. And then you are gonna enjoy a lot of growth and a lot of fixing along the way after you go out of this session. But the plan for this session, to have a more breakdown plan, is basically we start by setting clear goals and targets for the rest of the year for your practice. We are going to share an Excel file and some documents with you. So you will have your own document. You can share things with yourself. You don't have to share with us or anyone in this session. And then we do some, we help you develop some KPIs and track that and tracking system to achieve the outcomes. Then map a plan to focus, budget based on that focus, and find the right channels, and then have that channels be adjusted to the important trends of the current of the market of the world, basically. So that the result is going to be, you will be set up for massive success for the rest of 2025, because it's never too late to start focusing on areas that can help you grow. And with that being said, I'll go first into why you should listen to us, what we have done to deserve your attention and trust. So you probably know me. I am an ND MBA. I am the founder of iCareBetter. We grew iCareBetter to 1,000 patients per day and even more. And we have helped several practices cross $1 million. Most of them, when they started us, were in hundreds of thousands or maybe even below 100,000. Maybe they just started, but we helped them cross that $1 million. So I have personally 7 years of experience in this space as a marketer and executor. So I know the space really well. And if you ever wanted to book a call with us to learn more about how we can help you, our team can help you, you can go to actionable.com/schedule. And with that, I'll go into the next phase, which I'm going to just quickly give you an idea about what's the biggest marketing trend at this moment. As you know, the biggest thing is ChatGPT, AI, and Bing. Bing is important because Bing uses, as a search engine, uses ChatGPT for its basically AI search engine, the same way that Google uses Gemini. So you have to be aware of the impact of AI on people's search and where ChatGPT is going, because that's the most popular and user-friendly AI tool that people are using. The other thing that the current market expects you to have is to have an online scheduling system, because your clients are mostly people who were born in the digital world. So they know and they want to book online. They know how to book online, and they expect to see an online booking mechanism in place. The other way is people are very comfortable with two-way text messaging at these days. So you should have a mechanism in place that they can text you and receive a text back versus call, which for the current population and the way that they are used to communicate is less convenient to make a call than to text. And also you need to have an automated follow-up system in place. That's what everyone expects you to have. Hey, you have your appointment this time. Hey, how was your experience? So you need to have that, and you can add that by some AI voice agents to make it more human and make it more interactive. And also you need to get into authentic video content, so people will watch you. You make authority, and that's going to help your brand. With that being said, let's go into setting goals. It's going to be a few short minutes, but it's going to give you a lot of clarity. Basically, the idea here is success is goals, all else is commentary, meaning you have to set goals in terms of number of patients and revenue as a business. If you achieve that, that's success. Everything else, like if you fix some part of your practice, you buy a new bed, you fire someone or hire someone, these are not achieving goals. These are like commentary. These are like tools to help you achieve your goal. So have a goal and then focus on it. And having a goal means, like, think about a sailboat in an ocean. If they don't know where they want to go, winds are going to be dragging them here and there. They get momentum, but they don't know where they want to go. But if they know where they want to go, they're going to go from point A to point B. Then they use wind as a tool, as a force to push them forward. That's how having goal can help you to use the winds in the world, the tools in the world, to push you forward towards that goal. So you need to have the goal in place, and that's why I'm focusing on it. And part of this session and workshop would be finding the right goals for you. And with that being said, there is this link that Zara shared with you in the chat. And if you go to that link, you're going to find this folder. And in this folder, if you can basically open the snapshot 2025. And when you open it, you probably won't be able to type into it, but you can copy it. So if you click on the file and then make a copy, that would be great. And when you make a copy, make sure you change the folder. You can't copy in the same folder that the file is. That's our folder. You won't have access to it. But you have to make sure you change the 2025 workbook and files folder so you can make a copy of this thing. Do you want to share that link again? So if someone came later, they can have access to it?
Sure. Let me do that.
Okay. So let's if you already have this, let's talk about the current snapshot of your practice. So if you were able to create that copy of the folder, can you put a 1 here for me? 1 in the Q&A, ask a question, then put number 1, so I can understand that you guys have access to it and you are following. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Vasilov. If I get 1 or 2 more 1s, then I am confident that you have access to it and you have no problem copying it. All right. Thank you, Dr. Rubio. And I just need 1 more 1. If you can give me 1 more 1, then it will be great. No. Okay. So I assume you all have it, so you don't have a problem. Okay, I got it. Awesome. Thank you, Michelle. All right, cool. Now let's get to this. All right. Remember, look, we're sitting here to get out of the practice drama, the patient management, the administrative work, the whole practice situation, just to focus on your business. So I would say you're sitting here spending your time, take this serious. So when you go out, you have a fresh idea about what you want to achieve and what you have achieved and where you want to focus. So use your time with us because that's our expertise to the fullest. That's what I suggest here. So write down your average monthly revenue. Let's say on average you make, let's say, 100,000. Okay, and then write down the typical number of procedures per month. Let's say you put 10, and write down the price per procedure. Let's say here we are 10K, and write down the conversion after initial consultation. Let's say ours is 40%. And also write down how many practitioners you have in your practice. Like mostly are solo practitioners, but let's say 2. All right, some of you have an assistant or some new people. And now think about 2026, end of 2026, how much you want to make per year in 2026. Let's say in 2026 you want to make $2 million. All right. So and in 2026, how many practitioners you want to have? Let's say you want to have 2. And why? Why you want? Oh, okay, thank you, Zara. And why you want to have a? So just for some new members that just joined, there is a chat. If you can drop that in the comments again, you go to this workbook and you make this and copy this, and make a copy of this. We are going through this practice, and the idea is to get out of the practice mindset. Let's focus on the business for a few minutes, right? We have 60 minutes, now less than 60 minutes, 40 minutes. Focus on business. After 40 minutes, you can go to practice, administrative work, patient work, EHRs, all right, everything. But now let's focus on the business. So why it's important for you? Why is the most important piece of this paper, in my opinion? because it connects you with the emotional aspect of you. Do you want financial freedom? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to retire your spouse? Do you want to send your kids to a very good college and don't get into a lot of debt? Why you need that money and that revenue? It's important because when you get tired or you get worn, that why is going to get you going and you helps you to push through. It's a reminder for yourself why this is important. So put that in. Then this is going to be, I'll have 1 or 2 more minutes here. Then I'm going to pass it to Zara to be more practical and strategic based on the Excel sheet that we have here, right? So we have this snapshot 2025. We put an average, an annual revenue here, right, in 2026, right? So let's think about what's this year for the next 6 months, right? Next 6 months of 2025. How much do we want to make, right? This is an annual goal target. We have passed 6 months. Now there is 6 more months. My annual goal was 2 million. So now in the next 6 months, I have a 1 million annual goal. All right. So if you do that, then this Excel file, so this Excel file is the same thing. You can make a copy of it, right? You go to this file, make a copy, make sure you change the folder. You can't copy it in our folder. You have to copy it into your own folder. So then you copy it, put numbers here. Then when you put numbers here for the next 6 months, it tells you how much you need to make per month. Then you have to update the ticket value. Let's say per surgery, if you make 10,000, it means you need to have 8 surgeries per month for the next 6 months to hit 1 million in the next 6 months, right? And for having the 8 surgeries, if your conversion from consult to surgery is 40%, you are going to need 21 consultations. And if your conversion from a lead is someone that just texts you or fills a form on the website, to appearing in the consultation, if that's a 10%, then you are going to need 208 leads per month. And if you are getting each lead per $20, which is the standard number for pelvic pain and healthcare and endometriosis in the current market, you're going to spend $4,000 on your lead generation to achieve this number, right? So this is simple. You can get basically a lot of insight from this Excel sheet, but this gives you an idea that based on your goal, how much you need to spend in your marketing. So with that, I'll pass it to Zara. We are going to come back to this Excel sheet in a few minutes at the end of the session. But now Zara is going to take over to walk you through the next step. And
Okay.
and then Zara, please take it from here. I'm going to stop sharing.
Yes, please. Okay. Thank you, Said. And hi, everyone. As Said said at the beginning, I'm the marketing manager here. I'm a publicist and I have a master degree in digital marketing, e-commerce, and growth hacking. I'm really excited to be here with you today because we truly believe that planning is the foundation of achieving your goals. And that's why we want to help you get closer to them before 2025 ends and also prepare yourself for the following year. And in the process, be an ally for you as well. So together with Said, we already established what are the goals for the rest of the year. So now it's time to explore the different strategies that we can implement to achieve those goals. So let's talk about the tactics that we're going to use to hit that lead count before the year ends. To do that, I want to introduce you to our accelerated growth model. This is a methodology that we use with our clients, and as the name suggested, it's all about accelerating growth. This growth model is based on 3 core pillars. First is to drive leads. For that, we need to make sure people see us, they know about us, they contact us. That means we need consistent inquiries through phone calls, form submissions, and online bookings. That's the top of the funnel, right? So if we want to make to bring as many people as possible to engage with us, to start growing, and have as many people as possible on the conversion stage. So that's what Said was saying, the differentiation between leads and actual procedures. We have to bring a big amount of leads to get to the number of procedures to hit your goals of the year. So that's one. Um, Pillar number two is to maximize conversions, because we can put a lot of effort into generating leads, but if we don't have a strategy to convert them, we're just losing money. So our goal here is to convert the highest number of leads into appointments, then those into procedures, and ultimately into repeat patients or referrals. So that way your growth is exponential and accelerated. And for the last pillar, we have the optimization of results. This is all about measuring what's working on both lead generation and conversion side. We want to evaluate, optimize, and make informed decisions so we can get the most out of our time and our marketing budget as well. So now that I have introduced you to the three pillars, let's dive deeper into drive leads. For this, we have the first strategy, which is organic presence. This means showing up naturally in the places where your potential patients are already looking for help. This includes creating and publishing great content, optimizing your website with on-page SEO, making sure your practice appears in the non-paid results where patients are looking or searching for your services in the city. So, for example, if you're a doctor in California that offers endometriosis surgery. When someone searches on Google endometriosis surgeon in California, is your practice showing up? It would be great if you can check if you haven't, because sometimes we forget to check this, and it's very important. That's the main keyword that you should be ranking for your service. Or if you have a physical therapist a service, or whatever the service you have, it's important that you're able to put your main service and your location, and your website should be one of the first results. Another important tip for your organic presence is to make sure you have a Google My Business listing set up and verified. That's how patients find you on Google Maps, and that matters a lot for traffic, for organic traffic. Also, make sure you have a system in place for collecting online reviews. When people search your clinic, they should be able to find your website, they should be able to see your map listing, read the ratings that and the comments that other patients left on your Google My Business. So for SEO presence, it's very important that you have an 360 coverage. So include your website, on page, and technical. So that means posting regularly blogs, but also making sure that on the technical side, your website performs good, showcase your expertise and authority, embed maps, get backlinks from other sources, and keep your content fresh so the users, which are going to be your patients, can find you easily. So let me give you here an example of one of our clients. They were investing $8,000 in pay-per-click campaigns, and they got 417 leads here, but out of those, 170 came from organic SEO. That means Google Maps. So that translates into 65% of those leads coming from organic SEO. So while paid ads are great, organic visibility really is the foundation of everything. And now that I mentioned paid ads, let's move to the second pillar of how to drive leads. Paid search has different types. You can do Google Ads, which is based on keywords. So for example, endometriosis surgeon in California, you can pay Google to show you in the top results. And you can also do local services ad or directories like I Care Better, where the traffic is already segmented for a specific niche, like endometriosis surgeons. Or you can do social media ads like Facebook or TikTok. In here you can see the ones that I'm mentioning. But for the case of social media ads, these are done mostly for brand awareness. So I leave social media ads for last because even though they're very good for visibility, they usually have a lower conversion rate. Why? Because most people are just scrolling on their phones, looking for something else, or just entertaining themselves, but they're not actively looking for your services at the moment. So you get brand awareness, but not necessarily conversions from that, or not good quality conversions. But we still do recommend to always have a retargeting strategy so everyone who visits your website sees ads afterwards so they remember and you can stay on the top of mind, and also some level of automation in place to keep the funnel warm. I'm going to touch the point of automation in a few slides. Okay. Now that we're talking about advertising and why most pay-per-click campaigns fails, a common mistake is putting all the services in one ad group. So for example, if you have, let's say you're a physical therapist who treats pelvic spasms, within that you can have keywords like infertility, incontinence, painful sex. But if you put all those keywords inside one group of ads, that's going to be too broad. So each of those keywords, let's say infertility, should have its own message, its own specific ad copy, and its own targeted offer. And then another different for incontinence, another different for painful sex, because the search intent and the type of keywords people use are very different depending of what they're experiencing. So being too broad in pay-per-click ads, it's a common mistake. Always make sure your ads have a strong call to action, an offer that hooks people so they're motivated to click, to book, to reach out to you. And as a final recommendation in pay-per-clicks, we strongly suggest to have a dashboard. In a dashboard, you can track everything: how people found you, who interacts with your ads, where the leads are coming from, and what's converting the best. So that way you know where your money is being spent when you are paying for ads. The third strategy that we can implement for driving leads is database marketing. This is all about what happens after the list is captured. So you have your organic SEO, your paid ads, and now you are collecting their information, and now you're going to do a strategy with the data that you collected. We want to make sure that you collect organized lead data, that you have a CRM system, that you send follow-ups and relevant messages, personalized communication for your future patients, because at this stage they are not converted yet. So it's important that you try to gather their name, age, if it's relevant for you, their gender also if it's relevant, the city where they're located, but very importantly, the health concerns and the goals that they want to achieve. So this way you're not just blasting generic campaigns to them, but you're speaking directly to people based on their real needs. Now that we have thought about the database, let's talk about maximize conversions. As I mentioned earlier, generating leads is just the first part. If we don't have a solid conversion strategy, we're just leaving money on the table. For this second pillar, we want for this second pillar, it's very often skipped, but it's crucial. Most people want to jump from getting leads to getting results, but there are key steps in the middle some that we just can't ignore. One of those is the website optimization. So let's start here. For the website optimization, we have this checklist of 12 critical elements to enhance conversion. You can take a screenshot, or you're going to receive these slides after this session. But what we want to say here is that if you are making sure that you implement this, you are setting your website at least good for conversion. So the first in the list is to know your target audience. In the workbook, in the same drive that Said was mentioning earlier, we share a target avatar template that help you define this. So let's say your general patient is a woman between 30 or 50 years old. What are her goals? What's her economic status? Understanding gives you the insights to craft a message that actually connects with that person. Another important point when it comes to maximizing conversions is to making your communication feel real and human. Patients wants to feel that the doctor cares about what they're going through. So the communication online has to feel as warm as the interaction in the consultation room. And when I say real, I mean also that you use real images of yourself, of your team, of your facilities, your clinic. So that way you help build trust with the patient that it's going to become your patient. And it makes that next step, whether it's filling out a form or booking an appointment, much easier. They're going to feel more comfortable when they walk inside your practice because they already seen your face and they've already seen the place that they're going to. Now, as I said, one of the biggest trends right now is the use of original video content. So this means that you can use answering patient questions on camera. You can create content that feels real, warm conversations. So something more approachable, something more human, something that says, I understand what you're going through and I'm here to help. Another suggestion in these 12 critical elements is to uh, showcase your social proof. That includes making your Instagram and TikTok accounts visible on your website, displaying your reviews or from Google reviews, showing badges or trust symbols like Google reviews or I Care Better affiliation. These elements help you build credibility and reinforce trust with your audience. Also, don't forget the basics. Sometimes the most obvious things are the most overlooked. So I find this slide a little bit funny, but we have noticed that many practices forget to include this. So have your phone number prominent on your website, include your social media handles, have clear call to action so people know what to do, and don't overwhelm them with too many options of what they should do. You should have one main call to action. If you want them to book the appointment, make that your main call to action. Or if you want them to just fill the form or leave a review, be very clear on your website. So if you have your social media accounts linked, your phone number visible, and clear call to action that guides the user on what you want them to do, then you're already setting yourself for better results. So in the case that we put a heat map on this page, we would see which elements are dragging more attention. And we have learned that this right corner here is the best place to put the call to action, and on the left side, the phone number and the social media. So it's very important that you don't hide the information from your lead on your website. Okay. Next, it's something that is often overlooked and it's absolutely often essential. And it's that you need to be tracking the performance of your website. If you don't know what's going on your website, it's just another picture on the internet. It doesn't work. You don't have any data from it. But having a Google Analytics or a similar platform in place, knowing how many people are visiting your website, seeing where they're coming from, so you can know whether they're coming from organic search or from paid search, direct searches going inside your website or coming from social media. Now you know where you have to work the hardest because it's working best for you to get better results. All this data helps you make informed decisions, so you're not just guessing what's working, you know what's working. And here I want to highlight the reputation in Google reviews. Patients want to see what other patients think of you, the reviews you've received, your overall reputation online, and that takes you very far in medical marketing. So the work on Google My Business and the review, so the automation that you have for that after a patient leaves your door, they receive an email asking them, hey, can you leave me a review if you're happy with the results, or however that interaction would help you get a lot more patients. Now, the last parts of this pillar of maximizing conversions is something that I want to put a special emphasis into. Oh, sorry, I skipped these slides, but I already mentioned it. It's the automation. Early, I mentioned the importance of building a database here for driving leads. But now that you have that database, you want to be able to use it. So that's what automation is for, to maximize the conversions of the leads that you obtain back here to be able to get them through the door. So it's you need to be able to communicate with those leads consistently, and the easiest way to do that is through automation. If you have a CRM system, a CRM system or a platform in place, it should allow you to send automated text messages. I was working to talking about back and forth text messages because that's one of the things that people prefer, or trigger email sequences. You can share a newsletter, deliver educational content, maybe share that new blog post you share, or that video, educational video you created for your social media. You can also share it through automations. So this kind of follow-ups keeps your practice in the top of mind of the potential patient, builds trust over time, and increases your chances of converting those leads into patients. Now, before I move forward, there's something important that I want to share with you. And it's about connecting all these pieces that we've been discussing. Because in the end, we often realize that collecting leads may not actually be the hardest part. What's hardest is getting those leads to actually convert into patients. So as I was saying, 10% of the leads becomes consultations in average. So to book that first appointment, to walk through your doors, that's the hardest part. So we can do SEO, Google Ads, websites improvements, but what's actually the real problem here? We have noticed that even with everything in place, something very critical, 50 to 60% inbound leads go unconverted, and 90% of web forms fail to convert. So why does this happen? One of the biggest reasons is a slow follow-up. If I'm looking for information from a doctor and I'm maybe calling or filling a form so they call me back, I expect, or in general, the general lead expects to get contacted within 15 minutes. If a lead is not contacted within that time frame, it often goes cold. They look for another option because I only had that time frame to look for that appointment, and I called another doctor and they picked up my phone. The today's patient, and I think in general today's internet user wants fast responses. So that's one of the main things that needs to be implemented for marketing in the medical industry. So here's a solution for you. Let's say someone fills out a web form in your site after they clicked in a Google Ads. You can set up an automation with your CRM that immediately tells them or sends them an email saying something like, "Hey, Zaira, thank you for reaching out. We're looking forward to meeting you. Someone from our team will be in touch within 15 minutes through a phone call." And that's perfect because they know, then the user already knows that you received their information and it didn't cost you nothing. It just a simple automation on a CRM. Or depending on how your workflow is set up, you could send them a link to book directly. That's also an option, and it's something trending, as I mentioned at the beginning. The point is that it's something that can be fully automated. And here's a stat that I wanted you to keep in mind. The average customers needs to be followed up with within 5 to 7 times before they actually book an appointment. So if you're reaching out once, what you're doing is you're missing a big opportunity. That's why having a strong follow-up system combined with automation is so important for improving your conversion rate and getting more patients through the door. So let's say you try calling your lead and maybe you called them 3 times today, but they didn't pick up. That's okay. Try again tomorrow. Maybe you try them a couple times more or try during the weekend. But if they never picked up your call, it might mean the number wasn't correct or maybe that's just not the best way to reach them. That's why it's so important to have other ways to connect them. So when you're creating your database, don't only ask for the phone number, ask them for their email, ask them to authorize to send text messages and WhatsApp. So that way you have different sources to get to them. And also use those automations to say, okay, I send them a text message. Tomorrow I'm going to send them an email. So you can play a little with the information that you have and the channels that you have for connecting. Something simple like, hey, Zaira, we saw you're interested. We've been trying to call you. Please let us know which way is the best way to reach you, or if you have a specific tab. Because we have noticed sometimes practices, the receptionist only calls. The only thing they like to do is call it. So it's just an idea. So you have a broader option of getting to convert those leads. Okay. So now let's move to the last part of the accelerated growth matter, which is to optimize results. So when you collect all this information, you need to know what's going on, what's working and what's not, to be able to move forward. So in here, I'm going to give back the screen and the microphone to Said so he can tell us about this part.
Thank you, Zaira. Thank you so much. I hope it has been helpful so far. There has been so much time and energy put into these presentations, and we try to optimize it compared to last time. I hope it really shows itself and you get some value out of it. So after you do all these things, you drive the leads, you maximize the conversions, then what's next? You have to optimize the results, right? You want to know where your most powerful engine is for driving the leads and conversion, then focus on that. Let's dive a little deeper into this. So first of all, you need to think about how much you're spending in total on your marketing, right? And there are different opinions about that. I just did a quick Google search, and the Google search question is, what's the standard marketing cost percentage in pelvic health practice? I mean, of course, it's endometriosis, different ideas. So typically, the general idea is if you, for aggressive growth, so for basically 3 to 5% is just maintenance. If you want to go for aggressive and like high growth, you have to spend 8 to 12 or even more % of your revenue. So that's why the total spend comes into the game. You have to know how much you're spending. Are you spending enough, or you're just focusing on the organic leads, or not even the organic leads? Like you have just launched a website and sitting there waiting for things to happen. So you have to think about, are you optimizing this wheel? This wheel needs to turn around faster and faster, and you can do it by having a great team and enough resources on it. It could be an in-house team or some other team from outside, but you need to know that. So this was, we played with this Excel sheet, and so if you put the total revenue expectation, then it tells you based on 10% marketing assumption, gives you the numbers. You can change it, right? You can say, no, I want a really aggressive growth, increase it to 16%, or you want to say, no, I'm good, I want to just keep it as is, so drop it to 5%. But this is our experience in this market, doing this for a long time. So if you want to stay as where you are, don't spend more than 5%. You don't need to. If you want to grow, but moderately, that's the percentage. But if you want to go really aggressive and accelerated growth, you have to spend a lot of money. And where you spend this 80+% on digital marketing, the rest 20% for in-house things, or networking events with your colleagues in the area, or sending gifts or pamphlets or business cards to other practices or other occasions or events. So that's how it needs to be spent, the money. So also you need to know, all right, now you're spending all this money, what's your average cost per lead? You have to know where you're spending the highest, like the lowest per lead, but also you have to know the capacity. For example, in pay-per-click, you're going to spend about 1,500 per procedure. If you charge 10,000, if you charge patient 10,000, you're going to spend 1,500. Or if you're going to charge patient 5,000 for like 20 PT sessions, you're going to spend 700 to acquire one patient. And so like there is like a local service advertising, I care better, or you can focus on repeat and referral. Like for example, patients who have gone to you, to your practice, they trust you more. They have an easier way to bring them back. So if you focus on them, you're going to spend less money advertising or bringing them back. So in total, this is like this is probably 9% basic cost to bring one patient in. So the goal of this study is you should know how much you're spending to acquire one lead. That's important because then that's a mathematic problem in front of you. If you spend more per lead, more, you're going to get more lead, more patient. So this is another example. For example, you're spending 11,990 and you're getting 1,190 leads. That's how much you're spending per lead. Then you can break them down based on the channels, and Zara touched on it. You know how much you're spending for your SEO, how much you're spending for pay-per-click. The numbers are out there. You need to have them. Then you can say, all right, this is each channel cost is like this and this and this. Then you can think about where you have more room for growth and reducing the cost per lead or increasing the number of leads in a cheap channel. So that's how you think about it. Also, you need to think about the return on investment, right? You can't just spend money and generate leads. You have to think, all right, am I making enough money? You need to make maybe, so if you are making 3 to 5x of your dollar per marketing, let's say you spend 1,000, you make 5,000, you have a strong business in tech world. But it's in medicine, it could be a bit like higher return on investment. Maybe it's 5 to 10x would be a very strong. But if your mathematics work, spend 2,000 and make 10,000. Then if you spend 200,000, you're going to make 1 million. And if you spend 2 million, you're going to make 10 million. So the mathematics needs to be there, but you have to make sure the business works. So you're not dragging yourself down. This is basically the ROI. Like if you spend 11,900, you should expect some return on investment, and the business should work for you. So make sure you have that number in place. You know how much you're spending, how much you're making in return. That's the idea of return on investment. So we are getting to the last part of the presentation. We are going to get back now. Let's shift to self-reflection again, right? We have these three pillars in an accelerated growth model. You bring leads, you convert them, then you focus on maximizing the results. Where the leads are cheaper, how you can convert them at a higher rate, and how you can increase your return on investment, right? So we have three colors here. Red means you never touched it. Yellow means you have done something but never optimized. Green means you have focused on it and crushed it. Let's do some self-assessment. It's a self-reflection, another self-reflection. This is for yourself, just in your head, or you can maybe grab a pen and paper, write down whatever you have. Score yourself on each one of these items, like in driving leagues. How are you green? You have focused on organic, you have focused on writing articles, SEO-friendly articles. Database the same. Are you basically retargeting the patients that give you emails, give you their leads so you can follow up with them? Are you in the conversion? How are you managing your reputation and presenting it on your website? Are you doing it the right way? Or you have never thought about this and you don't know what's happening? And in automation, are you following 5 to 7 times with your patients? The first one be less than 15 minutes after they raise their hand and contact you. These are important questions that you need to ask yourself, because remember, we're sitting here thinking about our business, and a business is the service and the marketing. So your marketing needs to have a lot of thoughts and focus on it to work. And then optimizing ROI. Have you thought about how much you're spending per lead? What's your return on investment? What's in total you're spending on marketing? Have you thought about this? Yeah, so you should rate yourself here. I'm giving you some time to think about this. And with that, I want you to have two takeaways from this call, right? This was a 60 minutes focused on your business. Two takeaways. One, what area do you need to focus most? Two is, what's the lowest hanging fruit in your opinion? Have these two when you go out, right? Don't leave it for, I'm going to think about it later. Just have these two. Everything we shared here is going to be awesome. Just focus on it and grab your lowest hanging fruits. This is your planner. You have the Excel sheet. You need to know how much to spend. You know, here you understand how much you spend on each channel. Based on this, you can focus on pay-per-click. You can focus on email campaigns. You can focus on ads. And each one, let's say in July, you could do a pay-per-click focus on comprehensive diagnostic services, or you can do just a display ads on diagnostic services highlight. So you go out, you think about what's your lowest hanging fruit and where you want to focus. And what I don't want you to do is to go out and want to do all of these things that we discussed. Crush the Instagram, crush SEO, let's do the pay-per-click, let's do the Instagram ads. This is not going to work. You need to focus, you need to know where your area of improvement is and where is your lowest hanging fruit. That's how you focus and plan. So this is the framework that Zara shared with you, the digital marketing dominance, basically. That starts with SEO, goes to referral network. At the end, you basically have a referral network that constantly send you patients, and you basically grow your business through this wheel. And based on this wheel, we have created these checklists that are in the folder that you have, the workbook. You can go through this checklist. This is going to check your activities based on that circle. And you can say like yes or no to each one of these questions. So it's going to be very helpful for you. And so this is the accelerated growth roadmap that we are promoting: drive leads, maximize conversion, and optimize results. That's all you need to do. But you have to focus where you want to focus first. So that's about it. Before you go, I want you to grab your pen, just 1 minute, 60 seconds. Write your top 3 actions based on this session. You can type in your cell phone, you can type in your computer, you can grab a pen or type in on a sticky note. I don't care. Just write 3 actions for when you go out. You're going to focus on those 3 actions. 30 seconds from now. I'm going to give you time, and I'm going to move on to the next slide. This is going to be very exciting. Okay, so, all right. So what we covered: goal setting, defining KPIs, planning, budgeting, finding the channels, and set you up for a good success for the rest of 2025. And so what we have done recently, we have launched a new brand, which is called Femcare Marketing. And we basically we specialize in women's health and help people to develop a strategy and execute an ethical marketing for their practices. And we are result oriented, and we have a lot of experience in doing so. And what we can do for you, if you go to icarebetter.com/schedule, we can do an online marketing plan review for you, no obligation. So don't think of the free, like it's not really free. It's at least $500 worth of work, but we are giving it away for free. So we do all the visibility, everything we said. We analyze your current situation and give you, this is your analysis, this is where you need to focus on. No obligation, you don't have to buy anything. This is not a sales card, this is just to give you a plan review. So feel free to schedule this, icarebetter.com/schedule, and then you are going to get something really important out of it, and some action plan. Maybe we can help you to focus. And with that, thank you so much. There is this thing on the bottom right, that you can ask your question if you have any question. On the bottom right, there are, next to the chat bot, here you see there is this Q&A. I'm going to drop a hi. If you have any question, please feel free to drop your question. And thank you so much for your time. It has been very exciting to be here. And if I have the opportunity to answer your questions, that would be even more exciting. All right, I'm waiting for questions. We have 1 more minute. So if you have a question, drop it here. Any technical question, any focus question, anything you have tried that hasn't worked, you don't know why, just drop it here. We will be happy to share our expertise with you. Oh, so hard time getting reviews. This is very important. So there needs to be an automated system in place, and you need to know when to send the review request to people. Let's say if they see you just one time out of like patients give more for it, but don't Google. Yeah. So part of it is they don't want to they don't want to just be seen, or that's a part of the pelvic pain issue, is that people are more confidential about it. They don't want to publicize it. But what you need to do is, first of all, when they go out, you need to tell them, hey, it would mean a lot if you could write a review for me on Google. Then send them multiple reminders. So put them on a CRM, automated CRM, that sends them a message or an email every week or every other week until they leave you a review, up to 5 or 6 requests. Also, it's important that when you send it to them, it shouldn't be like after the first 15 minutes free consultation, now go leave me a review. That's not the right time. Maybe the best time for a review is after 3 sessions with you, that they have done everything you have told them, and now they feel really good about their health. Now send them the review, because you don't want to get them to, ask them to review while they haven't even seen you. They don't know what your expertise is. So that's a tricky situation, and by communicating clearly with patients that you would appreciate it and you would need it, and sending them reminders in an automated system, I guarantee you're going to get a lot more reviews than you are getting now. It's not easy, but it's doable. A lot of pelvic pain and pelvic health practices and endometriosis practices are generating tens of reviews per month. So it's absolutely possible. Any other question? If you have any other question, please drop it on the bottom right. We are here. We're gonna be here 4 more minutes just to extend our time, just to answer questions. If any question comes up, we'd love to answer that for you. So again, it's really important that you get out of your practice, out of the drama, the fights, the EMR, the administrative work, the paperwork, insurance, all the things, the legal life. Just get out of it. All right, now you have a business unit that you need to make sure it works. And for this business unit to work, you need to bring demand. You need to have a reasonable pricing model in place. So you generate demand and you charge them enough to make enough money. So you keep the practice going. Regardless of how good your practice is, if no one knows about it, it doesn't exist. And people trust Instagram and Google and TikTok and ChatGPT a lot more than doctors these days. So you want to be there, and you talk to patients through those channels so they see you first. That's a fact. I'm not a fan of this situation, but that's a fact. You have to play the game by its rule. So I think that has been a great session, and thank you for being here. And I see people are leaving. So if there's no more question, we can close the session. Thank you so much. Is there any additional comment?
No, I just wanted to thank everyone. It was very nice too.
Thank you very much. Feel free to reach out to us, icarebetter.com/schedule, and we can review your current marketing and current digital presence and give you an insight. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.